I'm Cristian Stoicescu from PixelYourSite. I want to explain one of the things that we do with PixelYourSite. Disable the plugin for known web crawlers. This is a functionality that we have inside both PixelYourSite paid and free plugins. This is the settings, global settings page. And the option I'm talking about is at the bottom of the global settings page. What it does, it removes our code when we detect boots triggering visiting your pages. So, for example, if we detect that, I don't know, Google crawls your pages, we will not fire events every time a page is virtually visualized by Google. The reason is pretty simple. You don't want to have this boosting activity with these fake events sent to destination like Meta Conversion API. Because how did we end up having such an option? We noticed that on some websites there was a huge spike in add to cart events. These were WooCommerce websites, and suddenly at I don't know 12 o'clock in the morning or noon, they had like 10,000 add to cart events. I tried to understand what happened and realized that the website was crawled by a particular boot, and this boot was triggering all the add to cart events, browsing every link visiting every link, every button of the site. And while Meta has a filter that removes such activity for their own script, the tag of the browser pixel code. So browser pixel, it's one thing. Conversion API, it's another thing. With the browser pixel, we call the Meta own script and send configure events for this script. With Conversion API, we send data directly to the browser server. These two tools work in conjunction on a website. And while Meta browser script was removing such data, Conversion API was not removing it, and you see the spike I was talking about. So we introduced this option. It now detects up to 1,000 boots, and it blocks our code from running when such a boot is detected. So you will not see the huge spike I was describing. However, since our code is not running, sometimes blocking a boot can be problematic. And I'm referring to boots related to caches. Some cache solutions have this option to preload a cache. It means that a boot comes to your website, visiting all your pages to create a cached version that is then served to your normal users. And this speeds up things because the cache is preloaded. You don't need an actual visitor to load the cache. It's done by a crawler. And when we started to exclude such crawlers, the result was that the cache version did not have required files from our plugin. So in effect, the cached page was not tracked for a normal user because we had an error. Our events were not fired when such preloaded cache versions were served to a normal user. In order to avoid this problem, we now have this exclude robots from blocking field where you can exclude from blocking, so basically allow some boots to trigger events inside our plugin, and you can use the user agent. By default, we have this WPRocket plugin excluded because this is a known cache plugin that has a preload option. So we know about this is how we end up understanding that there is a problem. We detected that this plugin was creating caches, and these caches were not working with our plugin because some files, some scripts were missing. So we have this exclusion, and everything works for this particular cache plugin that creates caches, preloads caches. And we also have some hard-coded part inside the plugin itself, blocking API events from this plugin to be sent to conversion API to Meta. So while the visitor will be tracked normally, still you won't see that spike in events, add to cart events on e-commerce websites from this particular boot. So because of this option, everything works fine. I hope it was not too complicated. I'm sure for some of you are lost already, but the idea is simple. Keep this option on to avoid a spike in conversion API events related to boot crawling your website. If you need to allow some boots because they are, I don't know, good boots, something that you want, for example, to create a preloaded cache, add them here using the user agent. It means that you have to contact the developer of that plugin to understand what their user agent name is. Maybe you can find it in a way, and use the entire user agent or just some keywords from the name that they have. Everything, both solution will work. So that's it. Oh, you can also add IP addresses that you need to exclude. So let's not get too confused here. This field, adding values in this field will allow events to fire for those boots. And this one, adding IPs in this field will block our script for those IPs. So if our library doesn't detect the problematic crawler and you know what IP they use, you can add the IPs here and we will stop sending events for those particular IPs. That's it. That's the purpose of this function. If you still have problems with it, you can disable the functionality completely. But I think it's a good addition. It's something you should keep on because it removes unwanted activity, and especially useful if you have a conversion API configured inside the plugin or other API destinations for TikTok or for Pinterest. Configure with PixelYourSite. Like this video because it helps us to reach more users on YouTube. Share this video because maybe there's someone else that want to understand how this functionality works. And of course, subscribe to our channel to see when we publish new videos about new features or old features or other stuff. Thank you for watching.